I haven't gotten the details on how they got there, but I do know that this was the guy that they wanted.
Hometown kid from Chandler. My notes, that's where I had to double check. I remember, he's a senior. He's going to be 22 years old soon in July. The thing with him is he has a neutral wingspan. He's 6'10", almost 6'11", but he's got a 6'11" wingspan. So that was one of the notes that I had on my
Not T-Rex arms though.
No. Neutral wingspan. This is interesting, man. This is interesting.
This is funny because we watched so much film on Tyler Collect, and they wound up getting his pick and roll partner.
Yeah, his pick and roll partner. Yeah. I mean, and that's the interesting thing, G, is when you do watch the tape on Tyler Collect, this kid pops all over the film. This kid pops all over the film. He was basically the guy that Collect was hitting on most of his assists and stuff at the rim. Again, 6'11", 222. He can do some things with the ball, G. He can do some things with the ball. That's some of the notes I had on him. Was for a big man, his assist ratio was pretty good. So I don't mind this. This is one of those swings you take, and you need a backup big, and so you might have gotten him.
Hey, he's actually in the draft room too. You look at that. Although they're saying he's a Portland Trailblazer, but we know he is a Phoenix Sun by way of Portland, by way of New York. Now a Phoenix Sun. I've been liking the draft guide from our friends over at No Ceilings, and they put him as a potential Wendell Carter Jr., Domantas Sabonis type. So
what was that? Say that again.
So No Ceilings, one of the draft websites, has him as a potential Wendell Carter Jr., Domantas Sabonis type.
Again, when the film I watched on him, he can do some stuff with the ball. Like, he's not just this big that's gonna rim run. He's got some versatility. He can do some things with the ball. He can pass the ball. He can put the ball on the ground. So he's intriguing. This is, again, I did not see this coming. I did not see the Suns trading up to 40. But I had him on my board, and I like what I saw. And if you saw the Tyler Collect tape, you see this kid pop all over the place.
So is this the rim running big that you were hoping?
Rim running big, but with a little more versatility, though.
Yeah. What in terms of what? Let's think in terms of Coach Bud's system. How do you see him fitting in, and what Coach Bud likes to do?
I mean, listen, Bud wants to stretch the floor. He wants people that can shoot the basketball. And again, this kid is very versatile. A little, I don't want to say raw. I don't want to say raw because I think he's a little better than raw. But untapped potential, some things that I think that when you look at the tape, you look at him and you're like, man, there's some more things that this kid can do potentially in the right system. So I don't mind this pick. I don't. I mean, it's one of these things where you got to hope that he actually reaches that potential. But I like what he can do off the ball.
So playmaking.
With the ball.
Playmaking, rim finishing, rebounding is kind of this kid's calling card. It doesn't sound like rim protection. Shooting is high on that list, though. What his strengths are.
Yeah, he's not a floor spacing big. He is a little bit undersized at 6'10", so that'll be something to keep an eye on. But the playmaking thing is interesting for sure.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get clarification on how exactly the Suns got to this point, because 51 was owned by the Knicks, so we're trying to figure out.
They'd have to attach something, but they can't attach cash.
So it would have. Right. It's probably one of the other seconds.
I would assume so, but we're trying to get clarification on this.
I highly doubt that the Knicks are looking to absorb anybody else's contract. So to kind of reset here, the Suns obviously yesterday were at 22, traded down to 28, and acquired the 56th pick in the second round, and then also acquired 2 additional second round picks as part of that. Today, they were sitting at 56. They've now moved up to 40, which was originally Portland's pick, which was then traded to New York. 56 has been traded to New York. We're trying to find out what else has gone to the New York Knicks. So now The Suns have wing Ryan Dunn out of Virginia and Oso Ighodaro out of Marquette, the center, the 6'11", 222 wing, center from Chandler, hometown kid, coming back here to the Valley. Gerald, once again, you called it. You told us at the beginning of the show, look for them to trade up in this round. You told us last night to look for them to trade down. You've been right on the money here.
Yeah, well, I haven't gotten the details on how they got there, but I do know that this was the guy that they wanted. I can't confirm that. This is the guy that they wanted to get, and they were able to get him at number 40. We're still figuring out what they had to give up to get there. The details are a little unclear at this point in time. But he's one of the best passing bigs in the country.
That's what I see.
So that's an asset for a team that could use more of that behind Jusuf Nurkic, because as we know, Drew Eubanks last year catch the ball in the short roll, kind of short circuit like we were used to seeing with DA a little bit there. So I want to dive more into his film before I speak and say things that aren't true about him.
Yeah.
But I do know, I can tell you that the Suns were high on this kid, and they're pretty happy with what they're going to get at number 40 here.
Yeah. Again, his ability with the ball. He's a guy that in the dribble handoff spot, setting screens, getting the ball up top, is not going to be afraid to put the ball on the ground, create offense, attack the basket, hit a shooter, hit a bounce guy. So, again, what I saw on film was a guy that had versatility in that spot. I don't know that it's the holes that we were quite looking for. I think we were looking for more of a rim rolling big that can block shots and play defense and do those things. They kind of went with a big that's a little more versatile offensively that could do some things. So I gotta dig a little deeper now.
Well,
I have to.
I guess it kind of makes sense. I wonder how much Coach Bud was involved in the evaluation process, because maybe he saw something in this kid that he thinks could fit in his offensive system